The Greens leader Bob Brown has suspended his weekly meetings with Prime Minister Julia Gillard, accusing her of not honouring an intergovernmental deal to protect Tasmania's native forests. I spoke to the Greens leader from Hobart earlier today. Greens leader Bob Brown, thank you very much for your time. The intergovernmental forest agreement that you argue is being breached by the Prime Minister, that she's not honouring her word. That agreement doesn't actually authorise the end of all native forest harvesting, does it?
No, far from it. It's actually putting money into enabling those who can stay in the industry to stay on. But what it does say is that, and it was signed on August the 7th last year, both the Premier and the Prime Minister signed to the immediate protection of 430,000 hectares of the most magnificent and environmentally wonderful forests, which most of which will go into World Heritage Area. Most of the rest of the forests will be available for logging, but these highly contentious forests, like the Styx Valley of the Giants and trees, you know, up towering 90 to 100 metres high, the tallest flowering trees on Earth, rare and endangered wildlife habitat, spectacular scenery, huge potential for the future of Tasmania's hospitality, tourism industry and job creation. These should be protected. And the Prime Minister signed off with the Premier saying they would be protected on that day, 7th of August. But since then, the agreement's been totally dishonoured. The logging industry's been taking the money. But under Forestry Tasmania's auspices, that's the Premier of Tasmania, Lara Giddings' outfit, has been continuing to log. In fact, they've logged some 10 square kilometres of these magnificent forests, a huge area, and they're continuing to do so. And right at this moment, Miranda Gibson is up in a tree 60 metres high in one of these coops, right up near the existing World Heritage Area, making a stand against if that agreement has any legal suasion, the illegal destruction of that forest and it's going to the Malaysian logging giant Tar An, which gets the benefit of this destruction of Australia's prime heritage.
The government's pointing to two clauses in the agreement. I'll read them to you and get your response to both of them if I can. Clause 18 says contracts for native wood supply that are in existence at the time of this agreement will be honoured. And clause 26 says where harvesting work has already begun in coops within the nominated 430,000 hectares, rescheduling will occur as soon as practical, and a list of coops that will be harvested will be agreed by the governments, signatories and advised by the independent verification group. What do you say to both of those clauses, which would suggest that not the entire 430,000 hectares will be protected?
Well, if you look at clause 25, yes, where Miranda Gibson's making her stand up in the forest at the moment, and with Tassie's weather being what it is, it's likely to be snowing on it right now. There was no harvesting in that World Heritage Value coop. They've invaded that since, and they started that in December. And there's dozens more coops like that. This is a complete breach of the Prime Minister's word, which was that there would be an immediate cessation of logging in these coops, and that if they did need wood from them, if after this study was done it was found that to keep supplies going, would be required, the Commonwealth would compensate the companies involved to protect these forests, to prevent them going back in there. It's watertight. The Prime Minister's agreed with me that immediate logging was what was signed on to. But it's this rogue agency, Forestry Tasmania, which, by the way, runs at a loss, selling these forests, which cost it nothing, and draining Tasmania's economy, that needs to be brought to book here.
You're talking about 10 square kilometres of the forest. There's over 400,000 hectares going to be protected. It's only a small fraction, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the usual argument. That was the Franklin Dam argument. It was only a small dam on a long river. It's a bit like saying a scratch across your Beethoven record doesn't make any difference. It does. And there's been massive destruction of these World Heritage Value forests. But whatever the argument, the Prime Minister and Premier Giddings signed on to immediate reserving of these very forests which are now being logged, and in December Forestry Tasmania came up with another 15 areas which is going to flatten over summer against that agreement, breaching the Prime Minister's word. She should assert her authority. So should the Premier, and bring these rogue agencies and this big Malaysian logging company which is taking this timber to book.
You've met the Prime Minister on a weekly basis during the parliamentary sitting weeks. It was part of the agreement you formed with her as part of the minority government setup. Is there any prospect, you've said you're not going to continue with those routine meetings until this issue is resolved satisfactorily. Is there any chance that the Greens could walk away from the alliance agreement entirely?
None at all. We are committed to having this government work, which of course also involves having the Prime Minister keep her signed word on this agreement. But no, I spoke to the Prime Minister, or I rather directly communicated through SMS with the Prime Minister yesterday about the problem with a Japanese whaling ship being illegally in Australian waters. And it's the nature of politics. You keep responding. I'll be talking to Tony Abbott about that matter, I hope, or at least his environment spokesperson in the coming days, because I've drawn up a bill. We mutually agree to having, the Liberals and the Greens mutually agree to having a patrol vessel to monitor Japanese whaling in future. You have to talk with all the political leaders, but when it comes to the easy, routine cup of tea thing, I want that to come with a Prime Minister and a Premier who honour their word on this hugely important and fraught issue. It's been hard fought for, that agreement. I didn't endorse it, but the Prime Minister did, and she should keep her word.
You made reference there to the Yushin Maru No. 3, the harpoon vessel that made its way into the waters off the sub-Antarctic Macquarie Island, part of Tasmania, yesterday. You said you sent a message to the Prime Minister. Was there any response from her as to what the government might do in retaliation or response to the Japanese whaler heading into our territorial waters there?
Well, Kieran, she was going to verify the fact that the ship is there, and of course that's very clear. Pictures coming from the Sea Shepherd ship Bob Barker show the Japanese whaling ship there right next to this World Heritage Island and sitting in the middle of the World Heritage protected ocean, and that's Australia's territory. I mean, it's really no different to it's sitting in Sydney Harbour. And the Prime Minister was looking at what action the officials will take. But it's no good sending a message to Tokyo. It's flouting Australian law. It knows it's doing it. It knows it's in breach of a federal court action taken by Humane Society International in 2008 and our environment laws. We need a naval vessel dispatched down there to reassert Australian sovereignty in this magnificent part of our country. That
does risk a flare-up, though, a confrontation, doesn't it? Are you comfortable with that?
Well, of course I am, Kieran. The Tokyo's making Canberra a laughingstock. Every time we back off, they step forward. They've had another whaling vessel illegally off Bunbury under Australian law just a few days ago. And that vessel's now got the three people who had the courage to get aboard it sailing south and thumbing its nose at Australia, saying, we'll tick up extra expenses. You now chase us to get those three gents off. By the way, they should be simply transferred across to the Steve Irwin, the Sea Shepherd boat, which is only a few miles away from them. But that said, this is a case requiring a little bit of strength in diplomacy. Tokyo is a bully. Tokyo needs to be taken on. This is Australian territory. They've invaded illegally. We need to assert ourselves. And Prime Minister Gillard needs to let the Prime Minister of Japan know in no uncertain terms we won't have this. Japan wouldn't, nor should Australia.
You've said that the three activists that were held captive aboard that support vessel, you've said they're heroes, terrific citizens, and they deserve a huge amount of support. But shouldn't the activists also be responsible in the way they protest rather than boarding foreign vessels in the dead of night?
They're peaceful protesters who are asserting, firstly, Australian law. It was illegal for that boat to be there, that Japanese whaling vessel to be there, and they're asserting this huge and popular feeling in Australia and New Zealand and elsewhere that this illegal whaling slaughter should not be agreed to. Now, one thing I do agree with Prime Minister Gillard and Tony Abbott on here is that the whalers, the Japanese whaling fleet, is acting illegally. It's breaching international law. That's why the Gillard government has taken action in the International Court, but that's not going to bring a result for some years. We should be taking an injunction in the court to have them stopped from continuing that illegal behaviour. In the meantime, if citizens peacefully protest about that and embarrass Japan and draw world attention to Japan's breaking of agreed international law, I say, well, I'm with them.
Have you had any response from the opposition regarding your proposed bill that would require an Australian vessel, a customs or naval vessel, to monitor the Japanese fleet?
Well, I understand that the opposition is prepared to look at that legislation because here we have coalition policy in alignment with Greens policy, Kieran. Just as I was coming here, my office has informed me that we now have a draft bill prepared. I'll have a look at that when I get back to the office and send it off to Greg Hunt to get underway discussions so that we can get this legislation for a patrol boat to be in Australia's Antarctic waters in future. It won't get a patrol boat there this whaling season, but it will at least assert the majority feeling in the Australian Parliament, I would hope, that that Australia should have a patrol vessel down there, what Greg Hunt has described as a good cop on the beat.
Senator Brown, I know you've got to get moving. I'll let you go. Appreciate your time. Thanks.
Thanks, Kieran.